fueling confidence. So I audibly heard the word fueling confidence. Now, the thing that's interesting is that they said the word fueling confidence, and I said, okay, how can I support people in fueling their confidence? Then they audibly said engaging the rage. Now, my human mind, and I'm going to just make sure I'm very real here with what came up, it's like rage. Rage usually represents like, or at least my human identification of what that means is that it involves a little anger, it involves a little spiciness, right? It involves some like made me think of Hulk. So for those of you who've seen like that like rage, right? And my human mind was and has still been identifying, okay, what does that really mean? But before I start talking a little bit about that, I want to just take a moment to pause. And if I say to you, fueling your confidence by engaging your rage, take a moment to identify what that means to you before you hear my words about it. And don't get too much in your head, right? Let's make sure we stay in your heart about this. Like, what does that mean to you? How do you engage your rage? Because just like everything else, you know, there's this whole paradox of the light and the dark, right? That in so many levels, that pendulum can be very elusive in what it means, right? Because there's the part that is the rock and there's the part that's the feather. But in so many ways, like there is this perfect equilibrium required for us to be in balance, right? We need to be the rock and we need to be the feather. We need to be able to recognize that we are the light as much as we are the darkness, because there is this duality that is so much part of who we are. The duality within us is part of what we can celebrate, right? We are human as much as we are soul. We are desiring to be more in light because we've witnessed the darkness. We've known the darkness. There's this perfect equilibrium within all things. So when we think about like engaging the rage, even in the energy of the rage, there's two aspects to that, right? There's the rage of anger, when we feel stuck and we feel uncertain and we feel this like anger building up, like the why is this happening? Or maybe why isn't it moving as fast? We have this rage. But rage also can be explored into the energy of passion, right? When you're passionate about something, there is this innate desire to fulfill, innate desire to make something happen. We're pulled by a different force, right? We are pulled forward. There's nothing that can stop us. We are in a state of delivery and we know what we're here to do. We know where we're taking action. We know who we are meant to be. So when we're talking about, you know, stepping more into confidence and connecting more to confidence, is like, where is that equilibrium for you, right? Where are you able to engage more of your passion, your motivation, of your why? The why of why you're here. The why of why you're trying to create certain things or do certain things or accomplish certain things. You know, whether it be health, your why could be the rage, like I'm committed to this, to making my health better, to changing the outcome that I've seen with my health, right? It requires that force, that decision, that intention. The same thing is applicable for business. The same thing is applicable for a relationship, like committing to it with passion. And I know that that's what they're referring to, that kind of rage. And they're using the word rage because it's going to trigger certain things within our human conscious mind that are going to help us to understand what they're referring to. Embodying confidence and engaging in your confidence is about being passionate for who you are and who you've been designed to be. A lot of times our confidence are shaken because maybe things are not playing out the way we thought they should play out. Or maybe we're comparing ourselves to other people. We're comparing our own outcomes to other people's outcomes. We're not allowing ourselves to be in oneness and in celebration with who we are and who we are defining ourselves as. Because in so many ways, we're here for our own unique expression to be expressed. We're not here to be somebody else. We're not here to try to mirror or try to represent another person's voice. We're here to deliver our own true identity as this physical form, understanding that we're part of something greater, understanding that the divine chose to express itself through you, through me, through us for a reason. That in so many ways we forget that we have an anthem. They're saying the word anthem and I'm hearing music. Like we have a song to sing. We have an anthem that we're to put out into the world. And it doesn't mean we have to be on stage or on camera or doing things that we're talking to millions of people, but we have an anthem to sing. We have an anthem to represent, even with our own tight circle. Even with ourselves, when we look ourselves in the mirror, what is our anthem? What is our song? What is our true expression that we're here to deliver? And we get complacent, we get bored, we get, they're showing me a sloth, right? We get so like, we get so, what's a good word? I'm asking them they're showing me the sloth and I can't figure out a word to identify with that. But when we talk about connecting with your confidence, is understanding that it requires some of that rage. So if you're feeling off, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling absent to what life is doing for you, how do you step into that confidence? We have to engage that. And also just the whole paradox, right? Contrast. When we feel angry enough, when we are like at a place that we're like done, this is it. I'm no longer putting up with this health. I'm no longer putting up with this relationship. I'm no longer putting up with the lack that's in my life. I'm done, right? That rage is a contrast, emotion, energy, expression that has us create differently. It fuels a different desire. It fuels a different, a different outcome to be brought into life. It fuels a different form of expression, right? We no longer tolerate. We understand, we create. We no longer accept that which has not been acceptable. We stand up and we rise to be more of who we came here to be. So as an awakened superhuman is understanding that when you feel the lack of motivation, when you feel the lack of confidence, it's important to dwell into our perfect why you've been designed the way you have been. And it's not about questioning it, but understanding that you've been designed and have been made perfectly as you are for a reason. Everything that's had led you to this moment, all these things, they're showing me like different outcomes or different things that have happened throughout your life, have purposefully been crafting your perfection. Even those things that you may label as imperfect, even for me, things that I may label as imperfect have been perfectly designing who I need to be, my destiny, your destiny. And I've shared it before here on the platform. I am inevitable, right? They've shared that with me since high school. I am inevitable. You are inevitable. And everything that's been unfolding in your journey and in your life has been driving you to a bigger purpose, has been driving you to become the inevitable. The you that is needed at this time, the you that has been needed for decades, the you that is going to be needed here tomorrow. And it's funny how they said decades, so I'm not quite sure why they landed it like that or why they're delivering it like that, but I know it's going to be relevant for some of you. And it could just be because maybe in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, there's been this stirring within you that has been perfecting you. And thank you. They audibly just said that's for all of us. We've been getting perfected into who we need to be and become, and understand that there's no flaws. There's no flaws that man can identify that are not celebrated by the divine. So the flaws that we may see in ourselves or in others, or maybe we are judged from others or perceived we're being judged by others, those are not flaws by the divine's perspective. Because all that is you, as perfectly or imperfectly as you perceive it, is perfect for that which is becoming you. So if you are in any way needing a boost of your confidence, remember that message. Remember this message. Remember that which will continue to express itself and show itself in the next few hours or days with the message that I'm delivering to you today. What else is stirring within you that you are not letting further define itself? What else is stirring within you that wants to come out? And when they're saying feeling the rage, like feel into that. engage that passionate energy, engage maybe some of those emotions. There is a purpose to anger, there is a purpose to rage, right? There's a purpose to that, because again, it's where you step into deciding what are you no longer going to tolerate. Because when we get to that place, when we get to that stance they're showing me, we create change, we create progress. We stand up for ourselves and who we are meant to be. We stand up for our purity, they audibly just said. Because we choose to purely be ourselves and let it be free. The phoenix, or showing me a phoenix. We choose to let it become. So thank you so much. Make sure you let yourself celebrate who you are today and in the days to come, and fuel, right? Fuel and fuel some of that rage again, with the understanding that they're referring to the paradox and the understanding of contrast for that passion to be fully expressed.